Greetings, my friend. It is I, Jack, the Pumpkin King. I must tell Zero.
Alright. Hello, everybody. I am Gamemaster 909, back with more of Disney Infinity. Today, I am back once again in the Toy Box mode playing as a new character, Jack Skellington, from The Nightmare Before Christmas. One out of the 9 characters for this game that can only be played in the Toy Box mode. Now, he was, of course, he was also the first released out of the 9 Toy Box only characters, and I think he was the first post-launch character for this game. And by the way, in terms of moveset, for his ranged attack, he throws jack-o'-lanterns. Yeah, Halloween Town jack-o'-lanterns. And he has a scare as his melee attack. Pretty similar to the Monsters University character's roars, except it's a melee attack rather than a range attack. However, he does have a normal ground pound, and he even has a like a charged up attack by holding the melee attack button, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of Jack Skellington for this game, all things considered. Now, previously, I pretty much concluded playing as all the playset characters except for some extra characters in the Toy Box mode. I'll probably go back to playing as them eventually because I probably need to level them up and such. And I especially probably need to level up these Toy Box only characters because, you know, the Toy Box mode is the only place you can play as them. So it's probably going to be a bit trickier to level them all up. But I'll probably figure something out. But yeah, with that being said, may as well go ahead and check out Jack Skellington's Toy Box adventure, Jack's Nightmare. Jack is in a fight with his nightmare creations. How long can you last using all your packs and tools against these waves of unpleasant presence? So we have another combat-based adventure. However, this one is more survival-based, kind of similar to Sumo, where you pretty much have a time limit, and you pretty much have to stay alive throughout the entire duration of time. I believe if you die once, the adventure is over. Interesting, the narrator doesn't even say anything this time. Okay. Survive as long as possible. Use your packs and tools to help you. And if we survive 3 waves, we'll get a gold medal. Alright, so yeah, what packs and tools should we use? About the Star Command Blaster? Well, we'll set it as a quick swap, just in case. How about... let's try the Atlas Blade as our pack. Alright, let's take these enemies down. I mean, we could use Jack Skellington's default attacks. They're not bad, but look at this. I'm mowing enemies down with this blaster. It's great. I'm sure the Atlas Blade will come into use as well. Should probably use all these crates to our advantage in order to get some sparks to level up Jack. Oh, here comes more. And also, yeah, you may notice those gates. Those will open up after the first wave. So, with each wave, you'll be given more of the map to explore. This Atlas Blade is working pretty well. Oh, there's even the death blocks from Sumo. Speaking of Sumo, hitting that pretty much defeats all the enemies. Same function as in Sumo. We even have this little palace, I guess you could call it a palace, area over here. Alright, so I guess I may as well go into my own, well, either my own personal story or about Jack Skellington being voiced by Chris Sarandon. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll probably pronounce it wrong. But yeah, it's the same voice actor that voiced him in the Nightmare Before Christmas movie. So it's cool that they got him to reprise his role in this game. And I believe they usually are able to get him to reprise his role as Jack in Nightmare Before Christmas, like media outside of the movie. Because I think he even voices Jack in the 2000. Oh shoot, running out of health. Ah! Dang. I didn't get a single wave done. Also, I don't know why waves has an exclamation point. Okay. Might as well replay it. Just wasn't paying attention. We did level up as Jack, though, so that's cool.
Round one.
Alright, our quick swap is saved. Cool. Oh, here comes the Omidroid. Anyways, I was talking about the 2005 video game, Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, which was a PlayStation 2 and Xbox game, released in 2005. That pretty much serves as like a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's all in fun. No hard feelings, I hope.
Jack, you were literally killing these people. What are you talking about? Anyways, yeah, the game was pretty much a hack and slash in similar veins to the Devil May Cry video games. In fact, I think it was even from the same developers. So, yeah, there has been Nightmare Before Christmas video games before this. Only a few. That one, I think there was also like a Game Boy Advance game that was like a prequel to Nightmare Before Christmas. Forgot the name of it. I think it was called like Jack the Pumpkin King or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, pretty cool. It's kind of funny, though, because when Nightmare Before Christmas first came out, even though it technically was from Disney, it didn't use the Disney name before it. Like a lot of their animated films, even the ones they distribute, like, you know, Toy Story had, you know, Disney's Toy Story. Like, Disney, like, presented it, you know. However, Nightmare Before Christmas was not one of those films. It was actually distributed by Touchstone Pictures, which is Disney's film division that they use for more adult films, I guess you could say. More mature films and stuff. Like, it was used for films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, for example. Along with, I think, a couple other films. Like, I think the Tom Hanks movie Splash was the first film that used the Touchstone Pictures label. And Nightmare Before Christmas was another one of those films that used it. Apparently the people at Disney thought it would have been too scary for kids or something like that. I don't know. I watched it as a kid and I turned out just fine. But, yeah, because of that, at least when it was first released in theaters, it was distributed by Touchstone Pictures, so only debatably could it have been considered a Disney film. But I guess it was a Disney film the same way as, like I said, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was. Which, you know, Roger Rabbit, I think, has appeared in the Disney park, so it counts. And by the way, that gate is opened. And we have the second round with more of the map to explore. And yeah, by the way, we got a bronze medal. But nowadays, Disney is more than okay with, you know, considering The Nightmare Before Christmas as their own, of having Disney present it. I guess because of how popular it became, you know. Because, yeah, there's a reason Jack Skellington did this game, because, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas is a super popular film. Merchandise for it is, I think, still hot selling to this very day. Like, you'll see so many people wearing Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise with Jack Skellington, and sometimes his love interest in the film, Sally. You know, you'll see plenty of goth chicks with Jack Skellington stuff. I'm sorry, it's true. Pretty sure Family Guy made a joke about it. But, yeah. Now, for my personal experience, yeah, out of the Toy Box Only characters, Jack was the first that I got. And I got him, I think, pretty soon after it came out. I think within the same month. I talked about this before with Woody. Because of how he was sold, interestingly. Jack Skellington was also sold in a pretty interesting way, to where he was first sold exclusively at GameStop. I believe in, I think either late September or, oh shoot, early October. I need to heal. I need to heal. Yeah, by the way, you could do this. Probably should not have shown that, because I wanted to save it for later. Okay, you cannot heal while in that menu. Alright, you actually have to walk around and stuff. But yeah, that thing I just... Dang it! Yeah, this... Yeah, this one ain't so easy. This one I might have to take a few tries in order to complete this adventure. But at least it'll allow me to level up Jack Skellington a lot. So that's something. But yeah, anyways. Around, I think, late September and early October, Jack Skellington was sold exclusively at GameStop. And I remember, I think one of my friends actually bought him from GameStop. I think. I could be wrong about that. But I think around like late October, I think around October 28th or 29th, was when Jack would be released in all stores. What's interesting is that I remember when shopping at Toys R Us for some Disney Infinity figures, I forget exactly who it was. It might have been when I got Syndrome, actually. Now that I think about it, I'll have to look at the exact date, because I did log that stuff. I have like a journal where I talked about this when playing through the Incredibles playset. I have a journal where I logged a whole bunch of stuff, because it was assignments that we had in school where we'd write journal entries, and usually sometimes I would just write about what I did over the weekend. And one of those weekends that I wrote about was the weekend where I got Syndrome, and I went in detail about it, telling readers, aka probably just me, that, hey, I went to Toys R Us over the weekend and got Syndrome for Disney Infinity. And I think it was then, I don't know if it was then, but there was definitely some time. Oh, right. Well, why didn't I use the death block before? I spoke too late. Anyways. It was definitely Toys R Us where it happened, but I remember having like an employee talk to me about like when Disney Infinity figures were coming out and stuff. So I guess he knew how into it I was. Who knows, maybe he met other Disney Infinity collectors at the time. I doubt I was the only one. Maybe I was though, who knows. He told me stuff about how, like, yeah, Jack Skellington's not going to come out into all stores until November 1st. I don't know if he was correct, because I found Jack Skellington at a Walmart before that date. I think around, like I said, October 28th or 29th. Around that time. It was right before Halloween. I found a Jack Skellington figure and thought that, oh, is this being sold early on accident? So knowing that, or at least thinking that, I bought him right away as soon as I saw him. So yeah, that's how I got Jack Skellington for this game. Got him right around when he was sold in all stores. I don't think I shopped at GameStop at this time. And, you know, I don't nowadays. There was only a specific era in my life where I actually shopped at GameStop, and it was pretty brief. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not a fan. Okay, thank God. I was about to say, are enemies able to attack me during that whole cutscene? No. You don't want to see my angry face either, game. Anyways, I may as well run away. Maybe more death blocks will appear, I hope. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, this place is all themed to Nightmare Before Christmas, which I have shown that texture set before. It's pretty cool. And I think I did explain before that the Halloween town, that's what this place is called in the Nightmare Before Christmas, because Nightmare Before Christmas's world is pretty much, you know, they have a whole bunch of different towns themed after different holidays. So there's an Easter town, there's a Christmas town, all that stuff, and a Halloween town, which is where Jack is from. And is where a good chunk of the film takes place. So that's what this texture set is all themed around. And I do remember the Sky power disc for this. Yeah, by the way, this is accessed through power discs, but I think most of you already knew that. But the Halloween Town Sky power disc was one of the few power discs I did not have for this game growing up. And I remember, like, just going through so many efforts of trying to find it. Maybe I did, I don't know. Although I don't think I actually found a way to just buy what actual power discs that I wanted secondhand until the 2.0 era. So the only way I knew to find more 1.0 power discs was just through the actual blind bags. So it was a little hard to find specific ones that I needed. And there was one that I especially wasn't able to find from the third wave that I do remember buying so many packs trying to find, and I just couldn't get it. I'll show that one later. Alright. But yeah, I believe as of the time I got Jack Skellington, my collection consisted of pretty much him along with all of the starter pack playset characters. So all of the characters for The Incredibles, Monsters University, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Not including Crystal characters. Just the normal characters. Plus, I think I also had Crystal Lightning McQueen at this time. And there we go, another gate has opened up, and we have survived the second wave. Perfect. Survival round. Survive 5 minutes for gold star. Oh boy. So yeah, this one we could pretty much, adventure end when all players expire, pretty much when they all are killed. I guess this game won't straight up say it, but whatever. Expire is an interesting word to use. They could have used, I don't know, when all players are eliminated or something. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much this round could go on for as long as you're alive, but surviving 5 minutes will give you a gold star. Oh boy, this is going to be tricky. I don't know if I actually ever got a gold medal on this adventure growing up. I don't remember getting it. I think, yeah, even as a kid, I did find this adventure pretty difficult. Because most of the time there's just so many darn enemies, and yeah, they could deal a lot of damage. So yeah, there's definitely a reason why I struggled with this as a kid. But thankfully later rounds kind of give you an advantage because you have more places to run and hide, so I guess that's something. And by the way, yeah, we have the enemy generators, which are used in Toy Box mode to spawn in more enemies. Interesting that they just outright use them here as well. Not even hiding it. Oh shoot. Maybe I should use a different pack. Maybe something that isn't so close ranged. Ah! Dang it!
I get another chance? How marvelous!
Yeah, you sure do, Jack. I wonder if I should...
Halloween, everyone!
Shut up, Jack. It's not Halloween. I wonder if I should, now that I've actually, shown how all three ways are, I wonder if I could show the exploit. That's right, there's an exploit for this adventure. You may have noticed earlier when I was swapping through tools and packs that enemies did not attack me. Well, get this. Oh my god. If you stay in the tools and packs menu, no enemies will harm you. They will just kind of stand there and walk around. Well, actually, they won't walk around. They'll act as if, they're ready to attack, but they just won't attack. Yeah, ain't that something? So, for the duration of the round, you could just stand here in the Tools and Packs menu and not have to worry about a thing. They really thought this through, didn't they? My god, but yeah. Oh. I know, that's how I feel, Jack, about this whole exploit. So if you don't feel like defeating enemies, or, defeating enemies to get sparks and level up your character, and just care about getting a gold medal, you can do this if you want. It's great. Well, they'll still walk around them and be in an action-ready pose. But, they won't attack you. We're friends for now, apparently. Looks like these nightmarish creations will stay. I mean, after all, we are in Halloween Town. Things are supposed to be spooky around here, right? But whatever. Ooh! Here's something interesting I could bring up. I think before I talked about the Disney Infinity Action app, which was like an AR, which is like an augmented reality thing, where you could like record videos and insert Disney Infinity characters into them. Well, there are only 4 characters a part of it. The 3 starter pack characters, and Jack Skellington, who was added in an update for the app, I believe. Super interesting that they did that, I guess, to promote this character. I'm not sure why they didn't do it for other characters, just Jack Skellington. But whatever. I do remember, I think they even like redid some of the group animations, because some of the animations in there with the characters would like have all 3 of them involved. I think some of them were actually redid to insert Jack Skellington into them. I could be wrong about that though.
10 seconds left.
Although that's just what I remember. But yeah, ain't that interesting? That's round 1.
Round 2.
And we could continue just standing here. It won't even have us exit the Tools and Pack menu in between that, or within that cutscene. That's fun. Yeah, roar all you want, Macus. It's not gonna scare me. Because I am the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town. Nothing scares me. Let's see, anything else I could bring up about Jack Skellington? Well, actually, now that I'm playing as one of the Toy Box only characters, we can actually start opening up the character chests. I don't know, Jack. We can actually start opening up the character chests for the Toy Box only characters. So once we go back to the Toy Box, or to, the Toy Box world I was in before, we could probably start doing that. So that'll be fun. Who knows though, I might even make a world specifically for opening character chests, because there is a specific way to like strategically make a world to where character chests will surround you the whole time, rather than being scattered all across the world you're in. And yes, it does involve just making a small little world. Not really much else to it. Either that or, as I've tested, placing a bunch of blocks. Because I don't know if I explained how the character chest or the toy box mode works. Each time it goes through a cycle of 3 minutes, I counted, it'll change place and it'll change position to a different toy in the world, like a random toy. So if you have more toys in your toy box, then it gives the chest more locations to warp to. So if you have a whole bunch of blocks right next to one another, it will most likely warp to one of those blocks. There's like a better chance.
30 seconds to go.
So if you have a lot of blocks next to each other, that's probably where the character chest will spawn. So isn't that nice? Good way to farm for character chests. If you don't feel like just running around your large toy box world that you have,
10 seconds left.
which wouldn't be smart to begin with. Alright, round 2 is almost done. There we go. And now are we able to just stay in the menu? We sure are. For 5 minutes. Ugh. I gotta think of stuff to talk about for 5 minutes. Yeesh. I will say this. I believe before getting the Wii U version in Christmas of 2013, I only had 2 Toy Box only characters that I would actually play as during what I call the Wii era of my life, to where I would exclusively play Disney Infinity for Wii because that was all I had. And there were only 2 Toy Box only characters that I would play as. Jack Skellington and one more character that we'll see in a future episode. But yeah, and I believe I actually do have, or I don't have it anymore, but I did once. Oh shoot. Well, ain't this a predicament? Just kidding, no it isn't. I do distinctly remember recording footage of me playing the Wii version of Disney Infinity as Jack Skellington. I think it was the same video that I talked about when playing as Buzz Lightyear in this Toy Box mode. So I mentioned it before. So, yeah, that's something. That would mean that by the time I had Jack Skellington, I also had the Toy Story and Space characters. Forgot about that. At least I definitely did. So I think I did feature them in the last collection video that I recorded on my grandmother's iPhone. I talked about this in the Toy Story and Space playset, but I would record a whole bunch of like unboxing videos and collection videos that were pretty much just that I kept to myself. I didn't really upload them anywhere. And they're lost to time today because I don't even know where my grandmother's iPhone is anymore. And whether those videos are even on it. But, yeah. I do distinctly remember the last of them I recorded having Jack Skellington in there. I think. Yeah, no, it was. So I remember Crystal Lightning McQueen being in there. Along with, I think, the Toy Story and... yeah! The Toy Story and Space characters were in there because I distinctly remember in the video commenting about the little ground piece that the Toy Story and Space figures have, just being generic wood flooring rather than being something themed to the actual playset itself. So yeah, ain't that something? And what is cool is that they would continue having a whole bunch of Nightmare Before Christmas content in future Disney Infinity games. I do know that, especially in 2.0 edition, they would have a whole bunch more. This game doesn't have too much Nightmare Before Christmas content. You may have noticed that Halloween Town Gate is something you could use in the toy box mode, but it's like the only actual extra Nightmare Before Christmas themed item in this game, aside from maybe one more thing, which we will actually unlock through the we'll actually unlock through the character chest. I guess I left my game idle for too long, not touching the controller. Yeah, isn't this great? I get to do other things while this adventure goes on. We have less than a minute left, which is pretty cool. And, okay, that was weird. It looked like the enemies were attacking each other for a second. That's weird. But yeah, it's almost done. We're about to be able to wrap this up and go home. In just 10 seconds. Yep, 10 seconds. I wonder what this means for after 5 minutes. Got the gold medal. Yeah, it just keeps going. Alright. What happens if I leave the menu? Okay. Well, oh, there's a damage block over there. Yeah, they'll just continue attacking me as if nothing happened. There we go. That should help me get some sparks. Just defeating every enemy at once. I may as well go ahead and try to survive as long as I can, just to see how long this timer can go on for. Although it probably won't be much longer because of the stank on the droid. So look at this thing. He's a menace. And thanks, game, for teasing me with that spark capsule. Jeez. Let's see if I can level up Jack to level 4 before this ends. And Jesus, my God, this frame rate! You guys seeing this? This frame rate is going down. I guess because there's so many enemies on screen. Yeesh. I don't even know if you can place this many enemies in the toy box mode, honestly. Like in the normal toy box mode. Maybe. You might be able to. Oh. Get out of here. I'm still going. 7 minutes in. We're still doing this. Anyone else? Hello, Macus. Oh, there's 2 of them. There's 2 Macuses. Sure, let's just break all continuity and just have 2 Macuses. That's fun. Oh, death block. Oh my God, that's perfect. Gimme, gimme. You could shoot it. Perfect. Just what I needed so I could level up Jack some more. Because I don't even know how many more opportunities I'm going to get to level up Jack this much. I may as well just stop trying at this point. This has been, yeah, it's been going on for quite a while.
I feel like my old bony self is stronger than ever. Thank you.
I leveled up to level 4 anyway. So yeah, 3 waves, which is the most you could have. High score 3. We collected 138 sparks. Yeah, quite a bit. Alright, that's that. Use the left stick to move your character through the many worlds of Disney Infinity. Quite an elaborate way of saying use the left stick to move. They'd put so much detail into it for like one of the most basic things in a 3D game like this.